Hi Leo, welcome to my channel. My name is Kem. So today, Leo, for your meditative session, you guys got Flamingo Spirit, Embrace the In-Between, number 26, making an 8. I think it's interesting because it's like, I got right away, it's like you're sitting there and you're like, now what? Right? Like, now what do I do? Right? And I think it's a good thing. I think it's like a really positive thing because it's like, I feel like freedom with this, right? It's like, even though you kind of don't know, it's like maybe you're just like newly single, or maybe you're newly like without a job, or I don't know how to explain it. It's like there's something that has like now liberated you, and it's like making you feel like, now what, right? Like, I have all this time, or I have all this energy, now what do I do, right? And I think it's like an actual real question that you have. And I really, really like it because it's like, you have the opportunity to do anything now, right? Like, you have like the freedom to do anything. Like, I think it's like, you know, you have all the options. And I think that's how you need to see it. It's like, you have so many options, right? Like, you should take time to figure out what exactly it is that you want to do, right? And I just see like it being a really exciting time for you because like, I feel like it's never a bad thing to have a lot of options, even though I feel like for you it's freaking you out. I think that it's actually like a really good thing. Yeah, I see it as like a really, really good thing that's happening for you, Leo. So it's like, take this opportunity to kind of figure yourself out, like, you know, figure out what you really want. And then I feel like it's like, you'll be moved in that direction. I think it's going to happen kind of effortlessly, even though I feel like you think it's going to take a lot of effort. I think you're just going to be led somewhere, or I think that's what it is. It's like you're afraid to be led in the wrong way, like the wrong direction. And I think like, yeah, it's like you're scared to be led in the wrong direction or go the wrong way. But I feel like if you embrace this time and like figure out who it is that you really are, then this time is going to be like a blessing. If you go with like the flow and like kind of release control, right? So yeah, Leo, this is what I'm getting for your meditative session. Let's pull some cards and see what we get. So Leo, I feel like you're kind of entering this new stage, right? How we were talking about like in the meditative session, where you have this freedom, right? You have this ability to kind of start again with the Maiden and the Three of Pentacles. And it's like, you can start wherever it is that you want to start, right? You can like invest time in whatever you want to invest your time in. And I think again, you're like a little worried about where that is, right? Because it's like, whatever you invested your time in, I feel like didn't work out like in the old cycle. So you're kind of like, okay, I want to put like effort into something that's going to actually like, you know, give me like some sort of like you want to receive something in return for the energy you give, right? Like you want reciprocity. So you're like, okay, I'm setting out now, but I feel like you're a little nervous about it. And it's really interesting because we have the scribe here, and there's like another type of bird. I think it's like a crane, and it looks just like the flamingo to me. So again, it's something about, they're letting you know to embrace this time, right? And it's for a reason. And I think it has a lot to do with yourself. It has a lot to do with getting to know yourself again, right? Like there's something here about how when you set off again this time, it's going to be different because there's something that you're going to have acknowledged, right? There's something that you're going to like see differently, right? And that's what I'm getting here with the perception card, right? And do you see here how this is a person who can't like, they can see, but they're not like using their other senses, right? And then it's being clarified by the moon. So it's kind of like what's gonna change is, what's changing is you, right? Like you're changing within. And that's why it's like you're a little nervous because it's like you don't really trust yourself, right? You don't trust like yourself because of where you've been and like the things that you have done and like maybe some regrets that you have. And it's like they're telling you that like the way that you're like to get to know yourself again, right? And that there's not going to be any more confusion, right? Like there's not going to be any more confusion on where it is that you want to start, right? Like you're kind of like confused right now, or I think it's more of a nervousness. You're nervous as to where to like put the energy in, but they're telling you that once you know yourself, you're not going to be confused anymore, right? And it's like knowing all aspects of yourself, right? Because sometimes there's parts of us that we're not like super happy with, right? There's parts of us, I mean, we all have like our darkness and our light. So it's kind of like embracing both those aspects of ourselves so that we can like, again, because those parts of us are never going to leave, right? So it's better to like embrace them than to ignore them, right? So that's kind of what I feel like I'm getting with this card. It's like once you learn to, or maybe that's what you've been doing, like you've been learning to like embrace who it is that you are. And that's why like you're not confused anymore. Maybe this is like, this nervousness is because like you have something in mind, but it's like you're like, is this like real? And I think it is real. And I think you have, if this, like, again, everyone's on a different timeline, but it's like whether you're just starting this out, it's like getting to know yourself, or you've been getting to know yourself and things are becoming more clear to you and you're like not as confused anymore. I mean, it's still both like a very positive thing, right? And I feel like here with the scribe, they're telling you that like you're not going to mess this up, right? Like wherever it is that you're deciding to like take off to, or like wherever you're deciding to put energy into, or like whatever that is, it's like once the key is to know yourself, right? And to know like, again, to embrace both those sides of you and to understand like, I mean, I would say like not to live with like regrets, right? Like to kind of let those things go so that you can like be ready for this new opportunity. Again, you're getting gifted like a new opportunity to start again. And it's interesting because I feel like where you're kind of wanting to go, right, with this Two of Cups is towards some sort of soulmate, right? Like, I don't know if like this is someone from the past or this is like what you want now in the present, but I have a feeling that this is something from the past because we have the Two of Cups with the Eight of Cups and the Seven of Coin. So this like indicates to me that you like left a situation in the past, and I feel like, I don't want to say this, but I feel like it had a lot to do with like you not listening to your intuition, and you also like not, I don't want to say this, but it's like kind of being like a coward. I feel like I've gotten this before for you, Leo, so I don't know. It's like there's a situation that you might have left in the past, and this Seven of Coins story talks about like making a sacrifice, right, to the gods, and one of them was willing to and one of them wasn't, right? So they were each gifted, right? Like their gift for sacrificing was like the guy who sacrificed himself like willingly had a different gift than the guy who was like a coward, right? And I feel like that's something that you think about, right? Like this relationship that you left in the past. And I feel like with the Five of Cups in reverse, it's like you have the Five of Cups twice, actually. So I feel like here with it being in reverse, I feel like here you thought that like it wasn't going to affect you the way it did. And I think here you thought that you were listening to like what you were supposed to be doing. And I feel like you thought you were going like you didn't think that, like, I feel like you weren't listening to your intuition. I think you were listening to your ego, but you thought you were listening to your intuition. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you couldn't decipher between the two. So what you were listening to wasn't in actuality like your soul. It was like your ego, right? Or fear. And that's what you were really listening to. And that's what caused you to leave a situation. And I feel like with perspective, it's like, I think now you kind of see yourself, like you see yourself the way you're seeing yourself differently, right? Like I think you're reflecting on this experience and you're like seeing yourself a little differently and seeing like what you would have wanted to put into this relationship versus what you did, right? With perception and the Knight of Cups, it's like, I feel like it's the effort that you decided to put in. I feel like you decided to leave a situation, whereas like, you know, again, I think you did what was best for you at that time, what you thought was best for you. But now I think things are becoming a lot clearer to you. That's what I'm saying. I think with this like King of Fire, it's like someone who's getting to know themselves, right? It's like this wasn't, you weren't able to see these things, right? It's like now you've been given glasses to see things differently with the perspective card. And I think you're looking back at this relationship like, I don't know what's, I mean, I've been getting a lot of regret in this reading, so I'd say maybe with regret. But I think, again, it's coming with clarity. So it's like, it's a gift and a curse, right? Because you're seeing things clearly, but at the same time, it's like, because there's no more fog, there's no more illusion. It's like now you have to kind of face it, right? You're like seeing things a little clearer. And I think instead of maybe like feeling guilty, you're just kind of ready to, I think you're ready to kind of work in a different place now. And I think it has a lot to do with two things, like who you are and maybe approaching this other person. I feel like with the Integrity card and the Two of Swords and the Five of Cups, it's like, I feel like these two cards are saying to me, it's like, you're gonna choose to work in this energy from now on, right? And it's like, getting to know yourself enables you to work further into integrity. I think people think like once you embrace the shadow, you're not working in integrity, but that's the opposite, right? It's like once you recognize the shadow and like the dark, you're able to like fully work from a place like a different place, right? Like you're understanding yourself even better, right? And that's what we're like here to do. We're here to like understand ourselves and to like work with what we have and like work on ourselves. So I feel like with the Integrity card, you're being kind of like guided to be like in this energy, right? Where you do know yourself and you're comfortable with it. Like, do you see how comfortable she is? She's like, even though she's like naked, she's very comfortable. That's what I'm getting. It's like you're gonna learn to be very comfortable with the shadow and the light, right? And I think a lot of this relationship, maybe you were in the shadow, or maybe you worked from shadow, you were working from fear. So when you walked away, it was from fear and you thought it was from like your soul. So now you're like, wait, what? And now it's like, okay, things are becoming a lot clearer. And I think you would have done things maybe differently. But again, this is all past energy. So it's kind of like, how do I work with that energy now? And it's like always working from a place of integrity, right? And with the Two of Swords, I feel like there might be a decision that you have to make. I feel like one of the decisions is like, again, embracing the darkness, embracing the past, like letting it go, healing from that, being comfortable in like who it is that you are. And I feel like the other thing is like, I feel like you have to make the decision to like, maybe there's like, hold on, I want to scat one more card on this. Yeah, it's crazy because like the card literally just fell out. I'm not gonna even shuffle. The card literally just came out for me, and it's the Nine of Cups. So yeah, I feel like you have a decision to make. I was like, is the decision between the Integrity and the Five? And it's like, no, the decision is between the 5 and the 9. I feel like this has a lot to do with like this card, right? The 7 of Coins. It's like two different people and two different energies. Again, like the light and the dark, right? Like the person who was willing to do the sacrifice and the person who wasn't. like the coward versus like the hero, right? And it's like that's kind of the decision that's being here. It's like you can like go out and always be kind of tormented by what you did, or you can embrace that side of you and like love it and, you know, be comfortable with that. Or you can, I feel like maybe for some of you it could be like you can regret this forever and not say something, or you can decide to like communicate something to this person. I think for everyone it's going to be different, but there's definitely a decision here. I think the most important one is like the decision you place on like how you're going to live from now on. Like obviously like that's like a very important part of this, and it's like embracing yourself and learning from the light and the dark, and like learning from the past, and like not living in regret. That's like definitely one part of this, and being comfortable with yourself, that's another part of this. And the third part I would say, it's like for some of you it's like if you're feeling like torn between a situation of like speaking or like, you know, talking to, like giving communication to someone, I feel like if you don't communicate, you'll kind of stay in this energy. Whereas if you decide to communicate, you'll be in this energy. Because I feel like this has a lot to do with like someone else, right? With the Two of Cups. And I feel like, again, you're being given that decision because you're seeing things different now, right? Like you're not seeing things the same. So the fact that you're not seeing things the same means I feel like you're going to do things differently. So as opposed to like this energy where you left, it's like, and you see how like the moon is kind of guiding you? Here, the moon, those like the crescent moon, and you were confused, and I feel like you left. And here the moon is in reverse, right? So it's like the moon is no longer, there's no longer any confusion. So now that things are cleared up, and now that you're using your intuition, you're seeing things differently, and now you're like, okay, I have to make a decision, right? Because now everything seems different. And again, you have this choice whether you want to like embrace this person or like speak or communicate, versus like, I feel like living with regret for a very long time. So like, again, like regret if you don't communicate. Like I think you'll regret if you didn't communicate or say something like, oh, I'm sorry, or like, you know, reaching out to somebody. I think that would be a regret for you. I'm not saying that your past is, or you should be like regretful or shameful of your past. I'm saying like if you're learning from that and you're working from a different place, then there's no reason to have any regret. I just feel like now you're having another like conundrum, I want to say, like another like, okay, so now I get all that, but now what, right? Like what do I do? Because I'm sitting with this like ache in my stomach and I don't know what I should do. And they're like telling you, well, you can do whatever you want, but again, here's the moon, right? It's like, don't be confused. And I feel like this is the way not to go. Like obviously this Five of Cups is like very uncomfortable. So yeah, Leo, I feel like a lot of progression, a lot of movement, a lot of getting to know yourself. I really love this reading. I think it's super positive. You're being gifted with this new opportunity. Like, again, you changed your reality, right? Like you did all this work, you've done all these changes, and now with this last decision that I feel like you have to make, again, don't let confusion guide you. Like with this moon, don't be confused anymore. Like this is, again, we're having 3 things with the moon, right? So I feel like the important thing is like, there was a time when you were lost and you didn't use your intuition, right? Now it's like, that's not a problem anymore. So here it's like kind of a question of reverting back to an old way or embracing like the new way, right? And you like take that however you need to take that. Like, you know what I mean? Like in terms of like, if there even is another person, if there's regret about the past, like that's, but the concept is the same, right? It's like, don't revert back to an old pattern. It's funny, the moon is here too. So yeah, there's something here. Like don't revert back to fear. Like embrace your soul, like embrace love. Don't cower away from a past mistake. You're not your past. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not just because something might have happened in the past, you're not your past. Do you know what I'm saying? You can grow and you can change. And if someone else doesn't see that, then that's their problem, right? So yeah, Leo, I really love this reading. Let's pull some divine feminines for you. You already got flamingo spirit, embrace the in between. Let's see if there's any divine feminines. Oh my God, Leo. So it's funny because as I was shuffling, I kept getting like the divine feminine at the bottom of the deck. Like every time I stop shuffling, I look down and see the divine feminine. I mean, not the high priestess, the high priestess, the high priestess. But like, I'm like, I don't see, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't put her in the reading. I didn't see like a place for her. And then she came out. So it was like, she's like, nah, I'm supposed to be here. And that's Enheduanna, the high priestess. I'm one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. Again, I feel like there's been so much work done on your part, Leo. So it's like, congratulations. You know, like you have put in a lot of work, a lot of effort. Again, it's like, you're not your past. You don't have to like accept things that you didn't, like those things are not you anymore. If something in your past doesn't resonate with you, that's just a sign of your growth, right? And if someone can't see you in a new way, like that's on them again. And I think it's like really, it's so significant, like the work that you've been doing. And I think it's like, should be something that you embrace and like you love. And again, like your soul is like love, right? Versus like fear. This is like ego versus soul, right? Like your soul will always lead you here, whereas fear will always kind of put you into this state. So again, you have that choice to like move past any regret, any fear, even if it was about a relationship, even whatever it was, like that's not who you are anymore. You don't resonate with that person anymore. And I really like this from the book. I'm going to read it. It says that the high priestess is often described as the guardian of the unconscious. And Enheduanna is about merging the awareness of our soul and all the love and power it gives us with our ego. Yeah, it's like there's something about like your personality or ego versus like your soul. And she wants you to know that it's possible to merge them, right? Just as like, you know, there's an Aries read today. I mean, like I think I did it yesterday, and it was like you can merge the soul. Like everything has to be connected, right? Like the soul and the body and the like mind and the like everything has to be connected. And that's kind of the same thing here. But it's very much talking about like ego versus soul. And there doesn't have to be a versus. They can just like try to work together. And if you have a problem with the word ego, then like use the word personality. That's been happening to me today too. Like people are giving me other words for things, and I really, really like appreciate it, because I like the word like personality versus soul, right? Like it's like your personality is nothing that you have to fear. It's something that you should embrace. Like that's who you are, right? And yeah, we all have done like shitty things, but doesn't make you like who you are, right? You also are a part, like the soul is a part of you. And I feel like you're gonna do like really beautiful things, and I feel like you're gonna be like, keep living in your soul. Connect the personality with the soul. There doesn't have to be like they don't have to be like disconnected, right? So yeah, Leo, I really love this reading. I love you guys. I hope this resonates, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.